so I keep.
Hello. Oh wait, I'm coming in hot as hell. I'm sorry. Let me turn that down. I was coming in hot as hell. How you doing? I got a new camera. My camera is now operating at 60 frames. This shit is crazy. But today, this has been a long time since I talked about football. So now it's time to talk about the playoffs and all this other stuff, all the nonsense is going on. Teams in the playoffs, and I'll probably do, once I get situated with them and like the playoffs come around, I'm gonna talk about other teams. So let me move this right here because that be playing ads and whatnot. I don't want to deal with that. So as you can see on the screen, we have we have the playoff bracket. And of course, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break down game by game. No, I lied. I'm breaking down the seeds. So go one seed. You know what? Damn that. We'll talk about the games specifically, and then we'll do team breakdowns, and I'll make the Eagles and Kansas City game different. But so the first game on the docket for the weekend, as Pat McAfee likes to say, Super Wildcard Weekend, we have Seattle's going to Santa Clara one more time, so 3 times this year they will be playing each other. So going into this matchup, did they split? I don't know if they split. I think they lost to them twice. There's one loss, and then they lost to them twice. Was Trey Lance playing in the game? Was he? Box score. So one thing. Okay, that was ridiculous. So I'm trying to pull up the stats from this game. So, damn the bracket predictions. I ain't doing no predictions. You wanna know why? Because every time I predict something, I'm wrong. Who is playing ads on my videos? No, Jimmy G was playing that game. All right, bet. That's all I was looking for. So Jimmy G was playing that game. Trey Lance was hurt. That's what it was. But this is the 3rd time they're playing this year. So we're gonna break down Seattle first. Seattle, the team that honestly no one thought would be here. I didn't think that they would be here. This is one of the teams I was really, really wrong about as far as predictions. My biggest issue going in was who is their quarterback going to be and how would they respond without Russell Wilson. And they responded as well as you could. Way better than you could without your starter that's been there for 9 years. They came out that game versus Denver. That said more about what Denver was and who they had at their coach than more than anything else. Because Nathaniel Hackett, that is going to be a video in itself when I talk about Denver. But Seattle played great. Played great on defense. And then, looking at the schedule, they lost every game to the NFC South. Every game they had versus the NFC South, they lost. Now, if they turn these games around, mind you, the NFC South is the worst division in football. So if you turn this division around, if you turn around all 4 of those games, they are 13 and what? What is it, 13 and 4, something like that. Yeah, 13 and 4, something like that. What's the record? They would be 13 and 4. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it would be 13 and 4. So those games were very, very critical. And none of these games were out of their control. Like they could have won. They should have. They probably should have lost to both San Francisco both times. They could have beat Atlanta. Could have beat the Saints. Could have beat the Bucks. I remember that was in Germany. The Bucks finally decided to run the ball that game. Las Vegas, Las Vegas is hit or miss. Should have beat Carolina because my hometown, Carolina Stakes. Lost to the 49ers on Thursday Night Football. Remember that. Kansas City, yeah. Kansas City wasn't fucking around. So, the 4 games against the NFC South, those were the key games right there that they should have won. So, instead of being 13-4, you're 9-8. and then you have to go back to the one place you lost to at the beginning of the year. But as people say, it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in the same year. So, we'll see how that goes for them. But Seattle, especially with how they've done this year, this is the one team that could, because this game is gonna be close. I really feel like this game is gonna be close, because it's division, the opponent, it's playoffs, so nobody want to lose. So, I want what this NFL page is horrible. I just want to pull up the stats. Give me the stats. Jesus Christ. So look at Geno Smith. I apologize if you can hear my computer in the background. This team played pretty good. Tariq Woolen is a dog on defense. Very underrated. DK Metcalf did his thing. Him and Tyler Lockett, I believe they both had 1,000 yards. Yes, they did. Separated by 5. Tyler Lockett had 9 touchdowns. So they did their thing as far as receiving. It is a huge gap, 600-yard gap in between the two. Look at these guys: Laquan Treadwell, Derek Young, Kay Johnson, Rashad Penny. Running the ball, the man, the myth, and the myth. He's that guy, Kenneth Walker. He what you call it? He out of Michigan State. Was a 3rd round pick. He's a 3rd round pick. Kenneth Walker balled out this year. His 2nd round pick, excuse me. He balled out this year. He was that guy. But the story of the year, there's a couple stories this year, but the biggest story of the year is Geno Smith not writing back to all the people that wrote him off. A 70% completion percentage is crazy. Like, all right, let's do this. Let's do just passing leaders, offensive leaders. All right, let's do this. Passing. The highest completion percentage in the league was Geno Smith. 69%. Almost 70%. This is crazy. 4,200 passing yards. 30 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Geno Smith is that guy. Now, if they put faith in him after this, is not, it's up in the air. But that's not for us to decide. That is for the Seattle Seahawks to decide. That is for the Seattle Seahawks to decide. So, and on defense, they were stout. Could have been better. I didn't watch a lot of Seattle games, but there's a lot of games. I remember reading scores, and I'm like, all right, that's a whole lot of points. Especially how that first game versus Denver played out. I thought that was more, that showcased more Seattle's defense, but that more so showcased how bad Nathaniel Hackett was as a coach. Because 45 versus the Lions, 39 versus the Saints, 37. Oh, they scored 37. Not that one. They balled out versus. I remember they balled out that one. 40 versus the Raiders, 30 versus the Panthers. They had their games where they balled out. 9 versus Arizona. I don't really count that one. The 13 versus the Giants, the 21 versus the Cardinals again. They did play pretty well versus the Bucks, just didn't do enough on offense. Did pretty well versus the 49ers. Excuse me for stumbling on my words. The 49ers again played pretty stout versus the Chiefs. They got put up points. So yeah, Seattle, they can make some noise. They can really make some noise. Jordan Brooks leading the way. Quandre Diggs doing his thing. How many picks did he have this year? He had 4 picks. Him and Tariq Woolen holding it down. So yeah, they don't have Bobby Wagner anymore. So this team is just not who they were a couple years ago. Like the team that I grew up watching, it's just not here anymore. And that's fine. Like outside of Bruce Irvin, I don't recognize any name from a couple years ago. And they don't need those guys. They don't need those guys anymore. They're doing just fine. So yeah, that is the Seattle Seahawks. Across the way, the most dangerous team in football right now, the San Francisco 49ers. These sons of bitches have won 10 straight football games. They have not lost since that's 8. They haven't lost since week 8. This was the week that Christian McCaffrey came in. They're just trying to figure out what they were going to do with him. Ever since that moment where they was like, all right, no more, they have not lost. They have not been bullshitting. Look at this. Look at this. 31-14. 22-16. 38-10. 13-0. 33-17. No team has scored, other than the Raiders, no team scored over 20 points. That's crazy. Look at this. Yeah, there's not that many teams that scored over 20 points in general. The Falcons, the Chiefs gonna do whatever they want versus anybody. The Falcons, the Chiefs, the Commanders scored 20. That's not over 20. And the Raiders. The Falcons, the Chiefs, and the Raiders are the only teams that score over 20 points. This is the most dangerous team in football. DeMeco Ryans will be a head coach somewhere this year if he wants to leave. I don't know if he wants to leave. So we'll be automatically assuming people want to leave, and that's just not the case. So let's pull up the stats this year. So the man at the helm, it is not Jimmy G. It's Brock Purdy. I did not mean to click on handsome Jimmy G. It's a sad day. My man Barry was sad to see Jimmy G go out. But this man right here is a stud, Mr. Irrelevant. Now, let's back up. So when I was I just graduated from UNCC, University of North Carolina, Charlotte, in December. So I spent my last 2.5 years at UNCC. Before that, I went to Winthrop University, Rock Hill. And so I had a suite. Me, my boy Bernard, OJ, Quez, you know what I'm saying? And we would play NCAA 14 all the time. Brock Purdy was in that game. And I remember him only because people was picking Iowa State. And I remember, you know what I'm saying, as guys you play with in those games, you know the names. And then he got drafted. I was like, okay. I did not think that he would be here, leading the 49ers like it's nothing. Like, everything he do just seemed to be correct. Like, now, I don't know how much of that goes to Kyle Shanahan, but like, he hasn't lost. He's only lost one game that he's played in. So in the, was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 starts he's played? Oh no, I'm sorry, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 7 games that he really played in, he's undefeated. Look at this, 25-37. That was a game versus Tua. And he played better than Tua. Played game versus Tom Brady. He had rushing touchdown as well. Yes, he did. He outplayed Tom Brady. Did the damn thing on Thursday night. Did the damn thing versus the Commanders. Balled out, had to ball out against Jarrett Stidham because the defense couldn't get a stop. He has answered the bell every time. And in the game where they didn't know if they was going to get the 1 seed or not, he went out there and balled out again. 3 touchdowns, 178. Brock Purdy, I don't even know what award you give him. Was he Rookie of the Year? He would, but no, I don't know if he played enough games to win Rookie of the Year. That's the problem. But they will have a quarterback problem next year. But that's the man leading the helm. They brought in Charlotte, North Carolina native, and Chris McCaffrey. Please go back, Google Chrome. They brought in the Charlotte, North Carolina native, and Chris McCaffrey. And I'm literally trying to go back to the stats. What are we doing, man? Jesus Christ. So he came in, week 7? Which week was it? It was. He came in week 7. You know, he got a couple touches here and there. And then ever since week 8, San Francisco offense has just been operating different. Here we go. 8 for 38, 18 for 94, 14 for 38. Hey, you know what I'm saying? That was a rough game right there. 7 catches, 67 yards. You know what I'm saying? Doing his thing right here. So, Chris McCaffrey, one of the most important middle of the season signings we've seen in a long time. Brandon Ayuk had more receiving yards than Deebo Samuel, which is crazy to me. Deebo was kind of just out there this year. 600 yards is way below expectations, but he got his money. But he better show up in the playoffs. He got only had 2 touchdowns. George Kittle, my man. This is my guy right here. What did he had what? How many yards did he have this year? This is the first time once Brock Purdy showed up, his production started going up. Like, this is a Miami game. Hey, He didn't do anything that game. But that 120, I haven't seen him have 100 yards in a while. 98 versus Kansas City, 83 versus Atlanta, 84 versus Arizona. But this 120 game give me hope that he could get back to what he normally does. 2 touchdowns versus Seattle, 2 touchdowns versus Arizona. Like, it's just 11 touchdowns in a year is great. So you love to see it. You love to see it. But he didn't play his first game until, what was that, week 2? That game was hard to watch. I tell you, that game was hard to watch. Ooh. Like, low scoring games you can live with, but that was just, it wasn't even really good defense. It was just really, really garbage offense. So that was that. But yeah, on the defensive side, I wouldn't be shocked if they had the #1 ranked defense in the league. Let's see, NFL defensive rankings. They have to have the #1 defense in the league. They give up. Oh, they have a pedestrian completion percentage, but completion percentage doesn't really tell all. So, oh no, this is in order. This is in order. So, hold on. So that won't tell me anything. It's just passive. Why not just give me a collective? The NFL website stinks. All right, here we go. This is better. Allowed 300 yards a game, which is first in the league. They allowed the least amount of yards, which looking like, oh no, they allowed the third least amount of yards, second least amount of yards. Jesus Christ. Passing yards. Let's see passing yards. You won't give up passing yards when you wouldn't like how they were, so that doesn't surprise me. Yards per game, middle of the pack. Rushing, second in rush defense, in rush yards, leaders. Second least rush yards, second yards per game, total points. They only gave up 277 points, which is 16 points a game. So they was balling this year. This defense is dangerous. So who's alive? Was it Greenlaw? Greenlaw still over there? This is his team. This is his team. Eric Armstead, Nick Bosa, Samson Ebukam for the Rams, Omenehu. Yep, Javon Kinlaw, Hassan Ridgeway, used to play for Philly. Al Shahir, Dre Greenlaw, there you go. Fred Warner, the man. Janoris Jenkins, Emmanuel Mosley, Jason Verrett. I wouldn't be shocked if he's injured right now. Charvarius Ward from the Chiefs, Jimmy Ward. This defense with that psychopath D'Amico Ryans calling plays is that guy. So, looking at this game, I have no idea who's going to win. Because it's going one of two ways. The 49ers can A, run them off the field, and this game be over with by the third quarter. That can happen. B, this could be how do I put this? Like a very, very close game where like Seattle's winning for majority of the time. And then like San Francisco comes back at the end, like a 24-20 type game. It could be one of those. Seattle could come out and shock the world and blow San Francisco out the water like it's nothing. So, I have no idea. I'm no genie. I'm just a black dude with a camera and a whole setup speaking my opinion. But Seattle, y'all a lot of work to do this week. But y'all seem loose from the videos that I've seen involving Seahawks this week. They seem loose. Like they're not, taking themselves like I don't want to say taking themselves too serious. They're enjoying the moment. That sounds like the correct way. They're enjoying the moment. Like this the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? Let's enjoy this while we're here. So yeah. Seattle, yeah, long road, but it can be done. San Francisco, y'all the second seed. Y'all got business to take care of. What y'all do with that is up to y'all. That's all I got to say about that one. I'm actually, this is one of the games I'm looking forward to. This is the game I'm looking forward to. Probably the most, if I'm being honest. That and the Giants game. I'll probably talk about the Giants next. So, I want to say thank you for watching. I love you.